Back to the struggle. Let's do this.
Rafi's Rambles, Rafi's Rambles, Rafi's Rambles.
Hola, you amazing artists, and welcome back to the studio. Today I want to continue the struggle is real. Clee and I have been doing this whole art career thing for quite some time. There are things that we have struggled with that we didn't really consider, didn't really think about when we first got when we decided that this is what we were going to do. There are still things that we struggle with. I mean, to be honest with you, this whole artist thing, it's a journey. It's a journey, and a lot of it, you're going to be facing all kinds of things as you move forward and you do this crazy thing that is called an art career, and you're going to run into roadblocks. And I wanted to do a video talking about some of these roadblocks that don't typically get talked about very often. Some of them do, some of them don't. Things that we have faced, things that we are still facing, and share them with you. And if you didn't get a chance, watch the first part of this video, because there are 5 things there that I talk about that are very, those are part of the struggle. And so I'm going to continue it here. The other roadblock that you can run into is falling into the whole marketing bullshit thing, right? Where your motivations behind what you do, right? When you're in the studio, you create stuff, but your motivations behind posting or starting a blog or doing any of those things becomes, I want to market myself. We live in a culture where it feels like everybody's just kind of focused on that hustle, especially right now because it's very popular. You got to find motivations to do all of these things that don't have anything to do with gaining a response from someone else, right? And I've seen people take advice from, marketing gurus and things like that, and they just put stuff out there arbitrarily and think that like, oh, okay, well, the more that I do it, the more that I'll get attention. And there's a certain degree of realness to that, but like in reality, the things that really, really grab your attention are things that you relate to. A lot of times, like I'll see these posts on social media where it's just a painting and then DM me for more information. Such a lazy way to approach that. And the reason that it's lazy is because it's just seen as a marketing thing versus like storytelling. Sharing something because it is meaningful, because there is a meaningful moment to you, because the work that you created means something to you and you want to express that out in the world. Not falling into this whole like numbers game thing and treating people like wallets with legs, because that's not something that's sustainable, and it's not fun. It makes that whole aspect of putting yourself out there so dry, so boring, so tedious. Now, I wouldn't be able to do these videos if like my thought was like, this is a good marketing thing. You got to find a different reason why you want to do it. Something that means something to you, that is going to keep you doing it. Because if you're waiting for the response, at no point in time will the response be good enough. Ignore all the marketing bullshit and just find ways to put yourself out there in ways that mean something to you. One of the other things is the world changing, technology, new technologies coming out, new materials, AI. And I don't even want to get into the back and forth that happens with people using new emergent technology to discourage themselves from pursuing this thing. Where you're looking at something, for example, like with AI, where I got a bunch of comments from aspiring artists who were like, why would I even try to do this art thing if AI could produce better work than me? And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. That's like saying, why am I going to try this art career thing if there's a million artists out there that could do better work than me? It is easy to use anything as an excuse to not continue to move forward. Take a look at the new technologies, take a look at new materials, take a look at new things and evolve. Keep growing. The world is going to change. It's not going to stay the same. We're not doing the same stuff that the great masters were doing hundreds of years ago. We have evolved and we have changed, and we use new tools and new technology. When the camera came out, people were like, oh no, nobody's going to want paintings anymore. Artists started using the technology in order to be able to make their lives a lot easier. Don't get stuck in this mental block of being in an old fashion world. There's nothing wrong with respecting that and loving that and maybe even making that part of your culture. If you're going to worry about this thing taking away your career, then all you're doing is just making an excuse to quit. And that's where I'm like, no, Don't fall for that rhetoric. Face this fear head on like a fucking champion and not like somebody who's like, oh, well, this is happening, I'm going to quit. The other struggle, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with this, you guys that have been doing this for a while and putting yourselves out there, and you guys that want to just get started, this is one of the most pervasive things that is out there as a struggle of an artist. It's finances. Honestly, it doesn't matter how long you've been doing this, you're gonna have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Everybody's so used to going to work and then you get your paycheck at the end of the week and it's like clockwork, right? And you go and do this job that you hate and all that stuff. And when you're doing this, there is no consistency. There just isn't. Some months could be great. Some months could be dry. You could go through a span where nothing sells for a long time. It also depends on how often you put yourself out there. How many shows are you doing? How many opportunities are you giving people to buy your work? For a lot of people, they start a website and then it just sits there. You got to consistently just keep putting yourself out there, getting to a place where when things are financially low on the roller coaster, that's when I'm my busiest in the studio. I think about what am I going to release? What am I going to do? And I keep moving forward as if everything is fine financially. Luckily, we've always been able to manage to just ride that wave. You got to get to a place where it's like you're not stressing out and you're not worried about it. And I know that that is difficult. That was the most difficult thing for me, was getting to a place where I was comfortable being uncomfortable. But that's the reality of it. No matter how long you've been doing this, you're going to have dry times. You got to really think ahead of a system, and you have to think about, where am I spending my money? What am I doing? And just manage your money. And a lot of us, unfortunately, we don't learn how to manage our money. So you're going to have to put a system in place for yourself in order to be able to do this. If you're not prepared for the financial roller coaster that is being an artist, then I would say that that's the first thing you have to think about. Think about, what am I going to do if I make no money for 3 months? And when you're starting out, usually there's no money for a lot longer than that. So you got to think about those things, like, how am I living? What am I doing? And all that stuff. Because if not, that can catch you off guard, and it could be a big struggle. The other struggle that we deal with is juggling it all. Right? Like you're trying to juggle life. For a lot of you guys, you have a job or a career and all this stuff, and you have your art and family and kids and all that stuff. And really, the only thing that we've really come up with is putting a system in place that makes everything manageable, right? Stopping and taking as much time as you need to make it manageable, setting time aside for specific things, and getting rid of the fluff. I think that that's one of the most important things, is like, get rid of the crap that you're like, you know what, this is a waste of time. Why am I doing this? So you want to make time for things that you enjoy in life. And if artwork is part of it, then, you gotta figure out a system to be able to juggle it all. And finally, the last thing, and I think the most important thing, is staying true to yourself. Just being yourself as an artist. You are going to face all kinds of roadblocks. You're going to face rejection. You're going to face your need for validation. You're going to face being worried about money, being worried about finances, being worried about other things, being worried about stuff like, I'm not in the studio creating enough art, or I'm in the studio too much. One of the things that I could tell you for sure, is that when you are doing this as an artist, you're gonna have to think about your feelings. So if there are any of you out there that are like, feelings? I don't think about feelings. Then just be prepared. Gonna have to face your emotions. You're gonna have to dig deep sometimes to keep moving forward. You're gonna have to find reasons to keep doing this, especially because it is so easy for our brains, for a lot of us, to have that negative stick man giving you all the reasons why you should quit. You should be doing things that really matter in life. This is important and this is not important. You're going to face roadblocks. You're going to have to push outside of comfort zones. You're going to have to do things that you've never done before in order to be able to pursue this thing that you want. That's hard. That's hard for a lot of people, but it is necessary. It is necessary. If you're going to, you can't hide behind a screen and not put yourself out there. You got to put yourself out there, get in the arena and face rejection, face criticism, face people not liking you, perfectionism, pricing your art, all these things. They're all attached to insecurities. Being an artist is great because it gives you the opportunity to face those things. You're not just going to a job and then, after your job, you're going home and you're doing the same routine over and over. It is always pushing you outside of your comfort zone. No matter how long you've been doing this, you never get to the end. You never get to the end of that infinite onion that is you, with the layers and layers of different insecurities that you have. And it's one of the things that I love the most of being able to do this, being able to be an artist, being able to put myself out there. Over the last decade, I have faced so many fears and pushed so much outside of my comfort zone that more and more things seem possible to me. And as I reach for those things, then I face new insecurities and all that stuff. And that's the list that I decided to come up with for this video. There's a bunch of struggles that you're gonna face as an artist in putting yourself out there. And I think really when you look at those struggles as an opportunity to grow yourself, the willingness to just keep going and persist, I think that's at the core of it. Are you willing to keep going, or are you just going to quit? At the end of the day, that's the most important question. And I'm curious to know, obviously I didn't hit all the struggles of an artist. Why don't you go ahead and list in the comment section below struggles of an artist that you are aware of, because I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on the different struggles of an artist. And thank you so much for watching, you guys. You guys are absolutely freaking amazing. I totally adore you. And if you like this video and you want to watch more like this, go ahead and click right over here to subscribe. And that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Adios.